straight from the realm of all things gaming. Everything Noob starts now.
It's the 107th episode of the Everything Noob podcast. I'm Vortak. Welcome. Joining me this evening, Miss Jemmy.
Vacation time soon!
Yes. Where are you going for vacation?
Somewhere scenic. Where people are that are family and not family and also members of this podcast.
Hey! Happy
That's
Thanksgiving.
nice.
I'm going to Dreadlow's.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't told him yet, but surprise!
Wow.
And Mr. Dreadlow.
How's it going? I'm working.
You're working
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving?
Are you really?
Yeah, but I might be able to get home early, but nothing
I
planned
imagine-
special planned, so.
Do you have to work on Black Friday?
Yeah, of course.
Ugh.
I
imagine
remember working on
working
Black
that
Friday.
day.
Speaking of Black
I hate
Friday. Speaking of Black Friday, tonight's show, our theme for the evening, we're kind of doing a dual theme this evening. Black Friday, and we're going to go back and talk about Steam Early Access once again, as we did last week, because there have been some new developments. Literally the day after our podcast, they released some new guidelines, and we're going to discuss that too.
It was crazy. It was like as if they were watching or something.
Yeah. No,
They knew.
the CEO of Valve always watches. I mean, he's a hardcore
okay.
fan.
That's good.
He's like, that is a problem. Let me get on that.
he was in chat, BRB. Anyway, so first
Fix that for you.
up on the list though, Black Friday around the corner, and if you're a media junkie like myself and us here on Everything Noob, you always kind of keep your eyes open for deals, quote unquote, but I don't know about you guys, but I feel like for the past several years Black Friday's just been a big sham, and I want to know your thoughts. There's never any more than like 3 amazing deals, and everything else is just meh.
Yeah, and they
As
kind of like
somebody...
hold back
Oh,
on
wait,
telling
go
you
ahead.
what they're going to actually have as a deal. You know, like we were just looking at Walmart, and Walmart has everything listed what they're going to have on sale over on Thursday, which is the pre-Black Friday, which I call Gray Friday or Gray Thursday. And they got everything kind of hidden what's going to be on sale on the Black Friday, because they have a couple items, you know, like some big screen TVs and things like that. And they tell you, they go, you know, sales on this and sales on that, but they don't tell you the prices. They don't tell you what's on sale for Black Friday. Everything is Thursday right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. We just got to go there and find out.
What were you saying, Jimmy?
As somebody who has shopped for deals and kind of paid attention to Black Friday for a good portion of my adult years, Black Friday progressively gets more disappointing every year. But on that note, the amount of time we spend on quote-unquote Black Friday is expanding exponentially. It used to be just Friday. Now it's on Thursday. But now, like, all November long, I don't know if you've noticed, they have these, like, pre-Black Friday deals. And, like, there's been a sale all month long, pretty much probably anywhere you want to shop.
That's true, and they just use the term Black Friday to get you, ooh, this is a deal comparable to the ones I'll find on Black Friday.
The only one I really care about is Cyber Monday.
You might as well just call it Black Week.
Oh.
Black Month.
Oh, wait, that sounds kind of racist. Never mind. No, what I mean by Black Week is because everything is leading up to Black Friday is there's got these special sales throughout the week.
But it's been all month long this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. They're just hyping it.
It's not something that I'm looking forward to at all. I used to, and I think I jumped on the Black Friday bandwagon a little bit too late, because even back in the day, I was always disappointed. Like, after all that waiting in line, you end up saving maybe 20% on whatever it is you're in line for, usually for one thing, especially if you're like in a long Best Buy line. And
yeah,
you know, I think the last time I did that, I went out about 4 a.m, and I waited in line for something for my dad to get my mom. There was nothing I wanted out of Black Friday. He's like, if you're going to be, out and about and you feel like doing that for me, that'd be really awesome. I'm like, oh, I'll do that for you. So yeah, so he found a really good deal. I think it was one of those like Nook e-readers, something like that. And yeah, it was a good deal, but that was the only thing any of us really saw worth getting for Black Friday. I didn't shop for myself or for anyone else. I just did that one thing. And that was the last time I really went out for Black Friday. And I'm looking at some of the deals right now. I pulled up some of the video game deals going on that you can expect to see on Black Friday. And I'll tell you what, how do you guys feel about bundles? Like console bundles?
I don't like console bundles because most of the time you only care about 1 or 2 games, and then you have 5 or 6 other games that you are never going to touch.
Yeah, they usually have one game in there, and then the rest of them are like, blah.
Well,
but like the people who buy bundles are like parents and stuff. They're like, oh, my son or daughter loves Xbox, so I'll just get this bundle because it really technically, for the amount of games, is a good deal. But no one cares about any of the games in there except for the one game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So just get the one game and get another game. Skip the bundle.
That's what I would say.
Every single console deal there is except for the 2DS. They're selling Nintendo 2DSs for $100, which is $29 cheaper than they were. Okay, not bad. And all the other consoles are bundled. So the PS4, there's a Grand Theft Auto 5 bundle for $400. There's a Little Big Planet 4 bundle for $400.
Oh, you're talking about the actual like console bundled with a game.
Yeah. This is like
I thought you meant
games.
like the gaming bundles.
Console bundles is what I look at because this is the time of year where I think people really go and bite the bullet and buy a console.
If it's just one game bundled with a console, it's usually not too bad because it's usually a game people care about, though.
This is usually 2 games. So you have Lego Batman 3 and Little Big Planet 3. Little Big Planet 3 is awesome, by the way. Grand Theft Auto 5 and The Last of Us Remastered.
Those are 2 really good games. That's a good bundle.
Yes. Another one, Wii U bundle. It's the Best Buy Mega Wii U bundle, which includes Super Smash Bros., Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Super Mario 3D World, and Nintendo Land, all for $410.
Only cared about half of those games.
See, yeah, that's me too. Super Mario 3D World looks awesome, and obviously Super Smash is awesome. My problem with bundles is when I think about Black Friday shopping, I think about saving money. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, even if you're getting a deal, you still end up spending a crap ton of money. And that's just not how I like to shop. If I'm getting a deal, if I go to like, let's say GameStop says, "Oh, we have this deal going on this console. It's used, come get it." I'll be right there picking up the console and just the console, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I just walked out of freaking GameStop and spent $100 and got this awesome console." But in this case, you spend $400 and you get a console and a few games that are going to go down in value probably, months from now.
Exponentially within a month.
Yeah. And I just don't feel like that's really a savings. I feel like that's just a way to get you to spend $400 and try to make it look like it's an awesome deal.
But yeah, no, that's been a business tactic forever. Like the frugal and the money savvy will tell you bundles are not where it's at unless it actually is a good deal compared to what you were going to buy. Like, so you were going to buy the console, but now it's a console bundled with like one game that you actually would buy or were going to buy. And now it's the same price as what you were going to pay anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, might as well just buy the one game and buy the console and you're set.
It's just like
Same
what
thing.
you do when you clip coupons and everything. Don't just throw away the coupons for anything you don't normally buy in your life. If you don't buy that exact brand and normally buy it, just throw it away because you're not going to save money. Because now you're like doing flips around your normal like shopping schedule or whatever to fit that in there because it's on sale.
It's true. No, it's crazy. I mean, there's even just game deals, but they're all for games that are old now. I mean, the Xbox One games, you have Black Flag for $25. Black Flag isn't that like a year old now?
Yeah, I mean, they're older games.
Dead Rising 3.
Well, Inquisition just released, Dragon Age Inquisition, and that will be $15 off on Black Friday.
That's pretty good. That
I
game
consider
just
that a
came
good
out.
deal. Since it just came out, I think that's a good deal.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of tech things. If you're looking for something not specific, like a TV, you can really shop around and find a good price on a new TV. But when it comes to
TVs
something, when you start to narrow it down, like I want an Xbox One, that's when you're going to be like, ooh, look at all the Black Friday deals, and realize, oh, okay, well, I still have to spend $400 dollars at the end of the day. I didn't want
TVs
this
seem to be the Black Friday thing. I don't know why.
It's a great time to get a new TV. I think, like Jimmy said earlier, Cyber Monday. That's where it's been at for me. But even then, I just don't have the money to shop at that specific time. I just spent a whole bunch of money on Thanksgiving and getting all this stuff, and then Cyber Monday rolls around. I'm like, well, I already spent my paycheck, so oops. But no, I'm excited. I think I'll be able to do some Christmas shopping this year for Cyber Monday, and that'll be nice.
Shipped straight to your door, and you don't have to punch somebody to get the last of whatever.
No, not at all.
Furby! Bam!
And it tells you
what
if it's
is
in
the
stock or
toy
not.
this year that everyone is going to kill themselves over?
That's a good question.
Do you know?
I don't
I haven't
know.
seen any news stories about it.
Let's see. Hot Christmas toy. I'm just going to Google this right now.
I just want to know when the news stories rolls around what everyone was killing each other for.
Yeah. Hot Christmas Toys 2014. I'm going to pull this up. You just have... oh, man. Frozen.
I don't think there's
Anything
anything
Frozen related seems to pop up. This
Oh.
whole
Yeah, but
page
that's
is
like
just...
been out for nearly a year. It's not
that's
just
the thing.
released. Frozen related stuff. Well, I believe it. Just
I think for video games, this is a good year. There's been tons and tons and tons of releases for games this year. All games that I've thought about buying, and I've only been able to get a fraction of them. This has just been a really good year for games, and I'm hoping that Black Friday and just Christmas in general, like the Steam Summer Sale, the Steam Holiday Sale, and the Autumn Sale coming up too, I'm hoping those will kind of bring it around for me and buying for my friends and stuff, because there's no tech gadget, there's no toy, there's nothing I see other than just games. Am I that blind? I don't know. But has there been any crazy tech gadgets to come out this year that should go on sale for Black Friday?
no, I don't recall seeing any really like cool gadgets that are like mass market ready.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some like super high end stuff that are like, oh well, maybe in a couple of years when like everybody that's not the 1% can afford it.
Ooh, it's true. I don't know, man. There's been games on my list though. I know that I do really want Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and I guarantee you that's not going to go on sale. That just came out. It's not going to happen. So yeah,
I want it for PC. So no, I was kidding.
That's never gonna
That's
happen.
not gonna happen.
the new Pokemon game. Those probably won't go on sale.
Have you played the Pokemon game for iOS, like the Pokemon trading card game?
I have not. I looked at it and it just didn't. There's something missing about it. Have you seen it?
Yeah, no, I've looked at it, but it's not on Android. So I was wondering if you had played it, and I was just wondering how that was doing. I'm waiting on Hearthstone to hit Android tablets this December.
Oh,
yeah.
I really wanted that.
And then
for
phones early next year.
I wanted Hearthstone to come on the phone, and they only have it for iPad, and that was upsetting.
No, it should be on phone now for iPhone.
Really? Did they move it to the phone finally?
Yeah, it should, because Android tablet is December, and then sometime early next year is Android phone. So iOS phones should have it by now.
I find that weird that iOS got it first.
I don't. Considering some of the research market, it's when you're developing for iOS, it's like 6 devices that you have to make it compatible for. Whereas with Android, it's an immense amount of devices that are all varying in hardware and screen resolutions. So it becomes a nightmare to develop for. And on iOS, it's okay to release with a initial price. Whereas on Android, everyone expects it to be free. So you can kind of mitigate that future development cost by releasing on iOS first. And you can get the sample size smaller before you open up the floodgates with a free app with ads on Android. And everybody's like, this sucks because it doesn't work. And no one's willing to, like, give it a benefit of a doubt. Like, if it did work, but maybe it's a little glitchy or something. I mean, if it didn't load, it didn't load. You have to give it a 1 star, but
It's true. If
it's a little laggy, that just means it needs optimization.
I'm usually cool with spending $1 or $2 on an app if it just gets rid of ads and does nothing else, because
Oh yeah, me too.
they work hard on those, and it sucks that people have this expectation of games should be free all of a sudden.
Nope.
So that's pretty cool. I just had another thought though. We talking about Black Friday. Going back to that for a sec. The thing that makes me really angry. One of you guys said it a second ago. Thursday. Like Dreadlow was talking about how Thursday Walmart's having all these pre-Black Friday deals. You know the one thing about that really chaps my ass is that they keep pulling people away from the Thanksgiving dinner table.
That's it. Yes, I remember that last year. We talked about a little bit about that. It does. It breaks
What
up
really
families.
bothers me is it's not a voluntary thing.
What do you mean?
That's like, if Walmart wants to be open, I'm cool with that. Whatever. If you think you can pull in the business on Thursday, that's fine. But it should be since it's a holiday, it should be a volunteer thing.
Oh.
Like, I'm willing to work that day, or nope, I'm going to be at home with my family. But you can't do that. You come in or you're fired.
I was just about to say, yeah, I wasn't even including like the employees, the retail employees on that.
Yeah,
day.
I was thinking the same thing that Dan was thinking about. Where you?
I don't care about consumers in this sense, because it's like, if you choose to leave your family to go shopping, well then I'm sorry, your family sucks so bad that you didn't want to spend time with them.
Yeah.
I feel
What
bad
about
for
that
you.
good deal? You know that's you'll never get that deal again.
I mean, how many hours are people going to adjust their dinner time just to accommodate Black Friday in the future? I mean, it's only going to get worse because consumers let it get worse. Consumers still choose to go out when they should be eating dinner and wait in line.
The problem is a lot of people don't have as much money to spend, so now they have to take advantage of that deal or do without. And a lot of people in our society don't want to do without.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, you don't see like in the 1800s when they're talking about, hey, we're having Black Friday over here. We got cows. 20% off on a cow.
Everyone bought cows in the 1800s? Is
I
that...
don't know. Horses. Got your horses
What about
here.
chickens?
50%
How much
off
chicken?
on
Why
Black
is it all
Friday.
livestock? Why can't they buy trinkets?
Okay.
Candle?
I don't know. Lamps. Oil lamps.
He's a
We got some oil.
farmer, not a trinket maker.
But I mean, they didn't have that kind of stuff, a long time ago. So
yeah,
it's
where
like,
did it start? Says the guy with Google in front of him. Like,
Black
crazy.
Friday?
I don't want to know I don't want to look up Wikipedia on the history of Black Friday right now.
I'm willing to bet it had something to do with Macy's.
You're probably right. Everything starts with frickin' Macy's.
I'm
Miracle
willing to bet it was a Macy's marketing scheme to get people in so they could the last race to get your sales into the black before the end of the year.
Retail pioneers, Macy's.
I mean, they did a lot of stuff that was good, but then like a lot of the stuff that they did was good. We have now morphed into our worst consumer nightmares.
Yeah. I probably told this story in the podcast maybe even last year. Thanksgiving time, I worked at Target a few years back, and that was assholes. It was the worst because, yeah, like you said, they force you to come in, and you go in and there's nothing for you to do because they literally brought in every single employee, and you're not allowed to go home even though there's nothing for you to do. They just kind of make up something. And for me, it was, we want you to watch the front doors. I'm like, what do you mean? Just kind of walk them. Just make sure no one's like, we've been having a lot of people with items in the bottom of their cart and they forget, quote unquote, to get them checked out. Oh, and if you see like an Xbox or something sitting in the bottom of someone's cart, just check their receipt. I'm like, okay. So I'm walking. I paced for like 2 hours before finally someone else saw me. And we're like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, so-and-so told me to pace for all this time and watch people's, carts.
Like a standing guard or something.
Yeah.
Huh?
And it was just a waste of my damn time. And then they had me in electronics for a little bit, and it was just chaos there.
I can imagine.
It was just dumb. The whole thing, and every employee was just upset. Like, there was a handful of them who were like, oh, well, we already had dinner. I don't mind being here. Or my family's out of town. I don't care if I work. And then you have people like me who had to tell my family, I'm sorry, I have to work. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
I mean, never again.
Well,
if you work a retail job.
That's why it should be voluntary. Some people will like, yeah, fine, cool.
It just came. You come to a point where you're like, how much is my time really worth? Like, is it really worth losing time with my family so these assholes can come and trample me at midnight?
I hope not. How sad is your life if it's
the ones
worth
that already
it?
had dinner with their families?
Yeah, exactly. They have a nice turkey dinner inside their bellies, and I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
But no, Black Friday sucks, and you should just wait till Cyber Monday. That's never gonna. The conclusion
So are we
is never gonna
saying
change.
to boycott shopping on Thursday?
Yes.
I'm all down for it.
Yeah. If you're shopping on Thursday, it should be because you forgot something important for
It better
dinner.
be a grocery store only.
Yes, exactly. And maybe if you see something on the way out, grab it. But seriously, don't make a special trip. I'm
the grocery store, not the
consumer
Walmart
whore.
Supercenter. Just the grocery store.
I'm a
you've got the
consumer whore just
cranberry
like anyone.
Sauce, just leave it.
Yeah. Still, I'm a
No
consumer
cranberry
whore just like anyone. If I'm out and about and I see something, go, okay, well I'm already here. Snatch. But I don't make
you have a
special
hard
trips on
time
Black Friday.
with the impulse buy DVDs near the checkout.
No, not DVDs. I have a really hard time. I always go to the game section, even if I know there's nothing there I want, just to kind of look.
Yeah, me too. I do the same thing. I'm going to Walmart, first place I go to.
Yeah. It's really not easy for me. Like, I have a lot of spending problems, and especially if I'm sitting with Amazon. I just got my paycheck. I'm like, hey, Amazon, how you doing? And then get lost in that little wormhole for a while.
Oh, I have to put a self-ban on myself when it comes to Amazon and surfing Amazon, because I will find something that's like $2 and I'll be with free shipping, and I'll be like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
I got a sushi
Oh.
roller. Last thing, we still have yet to make sushi.
I'll show you when you're here.
Should I
JC
bring
in
it,
chat.
or do you have your own?
I have my own.
Okay.
We need to talk about that, obviously, off the podcast, what kind of sushi you want, because I got to go pick up special stuff for it.
Oh, well, I mean, we'll be there early enough that tomorrow that we could probably get that.
Well, let's get into
To continue that personal public conversation.
Yes. I make sushi.
JC in chat, he found out on the wiki what Black Friday is all about.
Oh, okay. Store in Philadelphia in 1975 decided to have a huge sale because they were in the red or in financial loss. Then during the sale, they got into the black or profit. It soon spread as a huge success and became a national thing.
Yeah.
So I was
There you
right
go.
about the purpose, not right about the store. What
So-
did it say? What store in Philadelphia?
Just a store in Philadelphia, according to Jake.
It was a
What?
Taco Bell. No, I was kidding.
And that's why we still eat Taco Bell.
Black tacos.
Yeah.
They used to do those for Halloween. I heard they were pretty good.
It's probably just a black taco shell. But
But
no.
it was. I know it's got to be better than the Dorito flavored Mountain Dew.
Oh, what the hell is that all
Ew.
about?
Dorito. Dorito?
Dor-
I think is what it was called.
Ew. Doritos stick in their ass everything like Santa Claus on Halloween.
It's supposed to taste like orange drink with an aftertaste of like Dorito.
Ew.
I
don't
know.
about that.
It's like, who wants that? Who is that for?
Who's this for? Who commissioned this? Kick them in the balls now.
I mean,
stuff they
I guess
come up
it's a
with.
cool marketing scheme, but ugh.
No. It's not even that. It's just gross. Dorito taco shells, I'll take it. Taco shells are essentially,
Yeah, those are good.
Tortilla chips, just specially shaped in the first place. But come on. Mountain Dew's bad enough. I mean, for you, it's delicious. But come on. How can I make this Mountain Dew worse? Anyway.
That's how I feel about Mountain Dew, because I don't like any Mountain Dew product. So I was like, that's how I feel like their marketing team went about it. How can I make this worse? How can I sink my company?
Nah, Pepsi's fine. I'm actually drinking a Mountain Dew. I was really proud of myself. I went like a week without soda, but I really needed to pick me up before the show. So, oh well, sorry, buddy.
Well, one soda a week really is
It's
probably
better
never
than what I was
gonna
doing.
kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm always drinking soda.
I can't live without it.
Drinking it out of a golden chalice.
Yeah. The sheriff's
Next,
in town.
he's gonna have like a king's crown on and like a big cape, and soon he'll have like an attendee like sip it first to make sure it's not poisoned, and then hand it to him.
He'll beat him with his cane when he misbehaves.
And then
Yeah.
the Pope's gonna come later when
Which
he's
is not
more
too
important
far off.
and bless it.
A
before
cane is
all
not
of
too
that.
far off.
The cane. Big hat and purple puffy jacket and
There you go.
Pimplo.
What?
That sounds like pimple. I was trying to think of Pimp and Dreadlow put together. Anyway,
Pimplo.
I'm way off track. I've been trying to segue into early access forever now.
Pimp tack?
And that will do it. Pimp Low will definitely get you into the early access
No,
subject.
my God. So last week we did a
He
show.
has said, so let it be.
Sticking with the somber chill mood of the podcast. Last week we did a show, man. And it was about early access with Steam. We talked about how there's a lot of problems with early access and how 25% of games don't see a full release. And I think that article is what prompted Steam's response, because the day after our show, they turned around and listed a whole bunch of new guidelines for early access. And it's awesome. I mean, it sucks if you're a game developer who was kind of banking on some of those things, but they're more or less suggestions than anything else. There's some new rules, but there's a lot of just suggestions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not rules. They are suggestions. Let me think. What were some of the... I'm trying to find the list where it like...
I have it broken down
talks-
into rules and guidelines. One of the rules they highlight is titles must be specifically branded as in early access when Steam keys are being distributed off-site, and avoid specific promises about future events. So if you have a Kickstarter or something and you say, I'll give a code to the first 20 people who donate, you need to make sure you tell those people it's an early access game or something like that.
Another rule I think I remember was it cannot be more expensive on Steam than it is sold elsewhere. So it has to be the same price on Steam as like your website if you're selling it like straight from your website.
Well, I do notice that some of the early access games that I've purchased on Steam, when I would get I get those notices letting me know that something was updated or whatever in my email saying whatever just updated there. So I would go and I'd check it out, and it's like after this, I've been noticing a lot of these early access games are at least putting information out about what they're doing. So I don't know if that's one of the guidelines or the rules that Valve expects, like feedback, because I've been getting a lot of feedback from games that just haven't been doing anything lately, haven't had a lot of updates, and so it's been kind of what's happening with this game, what's going on. Well, right after this whole ordeal right here, I've been noticing a lot of update prompts where they're at least the developers saying, hey, we're still developing the game, we're working on it, we've been dealing with this or whatever. Yeah, exactly. And so they're updating their information. They're not really updating the game yet. So I don't know if that's part of this, but that's good. I'm glad that the developers are actually letting us know what's going on, because leaving us in the dark after we paid for an early access game and not telling us what's going on.
Yeah, it's unfair. I mean,
Yeah, I want to at least know that the project's still working, or
Yeah,
not just abandoned.
There are certain games that completely fell short of their deadline promises to me, and I haven't heard anything since. And it's really frustrating. So I'm kind of glad these guidelines came around. There is a bunch of other guidelines that were highlighted, especially in this article. We're going to link in the show notes. One of them I really like. The main one is don't launch in early access if you can't afford to develop with very few or no sales.
Oh, I love that.
That is well said.
Because I don't know if these devs have like stars in their eyes or whatever, but it's like development for a program, game, whatever, is a long-term process, and you are not going to recoup your sales or make it worth your time with early access sales. You're not going to be Minecraft. You're not going to be Blizzard with WoW. You're not going to be any of that with sales. In fact, you will lose money on this development. So if you can't do it for free, then you're not going to finish probably anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Steam takes a cut of that regardless, too. So,
yeah.
I mean, how much are you really hoping to earn off of your early access? And it just, I just like that they put that in there because there are so many other outlets for you to fund your project these days, and early access is not the way to do it. Early access is essentially, when I buy an early access game, it doesn't say, alpha with the possibility of never releasing title. It says early access, making me feel like there's a finished product out there, but I can't play it yet because it's not done. But I can play what they have early. That's how I feel when I read early access.
Yeah, I feel like it's late beta is what early access should be, and it's not. A lot of people are treating it like pre-alpha almost.
Well, there's a lot of these games where they were on Kickstarter, and they've made their goal. They've gotten their goal to make the game or whatever. Then they get on Steam, and then they charge us for the game, which is fine. I mean, if it's a game that's going to be completed and all that stuff, that I understand charging us for the game. But they don't. They give us the same thing that they gave their Kickstarter backers. So, like, if their backers, backed with $60, they're getting the game just like we are at $20. So it's
well, there's also the flip side that maybe you get access to the game at $5 because of where they were in development on the Kickstarter, and now we're paying $20-$30 and the game isn't much further along and we're paying $20.
Yeah, I mean, I just think
versus their $5.
Sometimes when you do a Kickstarter, you're paying more than the game is sometimes worth, because
it's your choice.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could have paid $15 to get a game on Steam, or I could have backed them on a Kickstarter and paid $30 and get the same thing without no other additional perks other than the fact that I get in alpha. And so I'm paying extra for a game that's already on Steam that people are buying for less than what I paid to get in.
But I think on Steam, the early access is a little more confusing than when you're like donating to a product on Kickstarter. On Kickstarter, there's no product there. They just have like a promissory video and like this is kind of what it's going to be like. And on Steam, there's a so-called product there for you to consume.
Yeah.
Early access should be the next step after your Kickstarter. That's the order it should go in. If you have a Kickstarter or Indiegogo and it gets funded, you start making your game. And then once you have something playable, you enter early access, you continue work on your game. And instead, people are like, well, my Kickstarter flopped, so I'm just going to try to get on early access with my current playable version, and maybe I'll make some money that way, and then I can continue development. But that's, it's never the case, especially with how saturated early access is now. Like,
I don't think early access should release before alpha is finished. It should be a beta-only thing.
Yeah. I hate that we even use the word alpha. Like, we had to go that far back because that's how early in development people are playing games now. And, I mean, it just, alpha doesn't sound like it's really ready to me. It's not. You should just wait, Get people hyped and get some money in your pocket. I don't know. I'm just glad they did this. There's so many different ways to go about it. Who am I to say? I'm not a game dev. What's worked for some won't work for others. But I'm just glad. Other ones are make sure you set expectations properly everywhere you talk about your game. Don't launch an early access without a playable game. And don't launch an early access if you are done with development, which I guess some people do to try to get people excited.
I've heard of a few instances where the developer accidentally released an early access. And I remember the one dev threw a hissy fit because he couldn't get it fixed on Twitter. And then didn't they pull his game from Steam? Because he accidentally released.
We talked about him. Yeah, like right as
he threatened.
I don't know if he
Gabe Newell or something.
Yeah, he threatened like the head of Steam or Valve. I'm gonna kill him.
Gabe Newell, and he was like, I'm gonna kill him. And then they were like, okay, well, your game's off Steam. And then I don't know if you went to his Twitter, but he was like acting like his dev career was over because he got pulled from Steam. Like, well, there's no hope of selling my game now.
Steam is just a storefront. I mean, honestly, you're going to make more money off your own website if you somehow get people to go to that website. And in every case, because Steam is literally a storefront, and it does help to have your game on Steam, absolutely. But if you can somehow market yourself, if you learn your marketing, hone your marketing skills, I should say, and you get that website popular enough, you're going to make way more money.
Get people to play it on YouTube who have kind of a following. You'll get people there. They'll tell somebody about this great game they found. Steam is great, but you're buried under every other indie game.
I hate when their website is harder to find than their early access page. But they have a website. They just give me their early access page, and they're like, play my game. And I need to know what they say, not what they said on Steam and what all the reviewers say. I need to know what the developer says about their own project. I want to see their update blog. I want to see a forum. Like, those are the things I look for when a developer contacts me.
Oh my God, I can't stand that when I can't see a developer blog on their website about a game. I was like, I want to see dates of when you've talked about what's going on so I know if I need to invest. Or if I want to invest. Because it's like, if I can't see dates, I absolutely just walk away right there. Because it's like, there is nothing here that's hard fact that this may go somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say, I think Planet Explorers is a great example. They waited a long time. I mean, they had a website, and they were selling their game on there and stuff, but they waited a long time before they came out on Steam. Mm-hmm. And the game was already, like, almost, it's pretty much complete. I mean, you can play, as if it's a complete game. I mean, the quest line doesn't go as far, but by the time they do finish the game, by the time they do finish with their updates and stuff, you won't even get that far. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a long way away before you even get that far in the game. But Planet Explorers, they came on the scene after they've already pretty close to completed a game, but it's early access because and that's the way it should be done. Give us a product that's actually playable, and then add to it as you go. That's why Prison Architect is a great example of somebody who's doing it right.
Yeah, I'm on board with you because I'm getting so sick of seeing early access game, and I click on it and they barely have a gameplay video on the Steam page. It's like, you might as well have put your Kickstarter video up there, but now you have something a little more playable.
Make a gameplay video, you don't have a game yet.
And their excuse is it's early access. That's why it's, the way it is.
Yeah.
Well,
I once played a game recently. I got sent a game. I get sent games all the time. I'm on all these like indie lists, and so if your YouTube channel's there and a dev sees it and they like what they see, they'll send you their game and say, please play it on your channel. And I have the final say what goes on it. They're not offering me any money or anything like that, so I don't have to feel bad if I don't, decide to play it. I generally try most of them that look like something I'll like. There's some obvious ones right out of the gate that I won't touch, but there was one game that looked really cool. And it had something to do with, like, space and, like, you go to these different planets. And right away, you have my attention. And so I get into the game, and on the screen is, like, a line with some dots on it. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm trying so hard to click. What I'm looking at is like a galaxy map, but from its side. And I'm looking at planets. Once I finally moved the camera, I saw the top down of the circles with the planets in them. And I'm like, okay, so this is a map. I'm trying to pick a planet to go to. And nothing would
Why
work.
wouldn't they just start in the top down?
I don't know.
Like, why wouldn't that be the default view?
The other problem is there was no controls or instructions at all. It was just, this is what you get. And the person was like serious about me playing this game on my channel, and I couldn't even get it started. Like, I was clicking on planets, there was no buttons or anything, and finally I just stopped.
Oh, that's something I'm working on. No, I was kidding.
There was no
That's your
control
game?
instructions. There was no options menu. There was nothing. And I mean, if you're going to make a game and you're going to put out something you're considering a playable version, at least give me some prompts that say, this is an early access game. Here's your basic controls. I don't have all the menus set up yet, but this is what you need to know. I didn't get any of that. And
RimWorld is a great example of a good. I mean, seriously, it's almost complete. I mean, you can play it, and it's moddable. I got a mod on my game. It's awesome. But yeah, I mean, when you put out nothing but like, okay, well, here's what I got so far. I'm just a person in a room, can't go anywhere, can't do anything, can't shoot, can't select. That's not really,
Well, he
give
put
us something
that
to play
in
with.
front of him, like, directly to review. Why wouldn't you give, like, everything, like, possible? Why wouldn't you wait until you had a more polished product?
Yeah.
Anyways, because, like, you're writing off people because you don't have anything there to show. Like, so they're never going to look at you again and be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Never mind.
yeah, it's
First impressions are everything.
It's almost poison to put your game out too early. Because that's all people are going to remember. Oh, that was that game with the weird map. I couldn't even click on anything. And even if you have a fully functioning game after that, you've already like tarnished my view of you because I moved on. I'm like, this is dumb.
A great example is Starforge. I was completely disgusted with the original game when I first got it. And it was terrible. There was nothing to do.
There's not one good review on Starforge, but from the people who have given it another
now it's
chance.
awesome.
Yeah.
Now it's really good.
That's
and it's
what
like,
I've heard.
if you would have put it out here now, the way it is right now, you would have had,
They might have used early access to get funding.
Can I ask you something, though? Did they use all the negative feedback they got from their crappy version and know that they had to make improvements? Or was that just always slated to happen?
I don't know. I just know that it's a lot better now.
I mean, because
I just know that
sometimes,
it's actually a game now. It's
if you're a dev that can take criticism and, you're okay with like a bunch of 1 stars and people never coming back, that negative feedback can kind of push you where you need to go.
Yeah, it's going to hurt them in the long run. But I mean, now, because I've already got it. It's in my Steam, so obviously I have it. But I saw a big update. I saw some updates come up on Starforge and go, I wonder what they're up to. And if I wouldn't have checked, I wouldn't have known that they actually did so many improvements to the game. So I would have never even tried. It would have just been sitting in my Steam library. I wouldn't have done anything. But since I looked at it, I'm going, whoa, this is it. This is what we were looking for. This is what this is what's expected of a game like this. This is a game now. And if they would have just done that from the get-go, they wouldn't have all that bad rep, that they basically earned. Now it's a good game. I mean, if you go on there now, I think it's worth buying it seriously now. But yeah, wasn't done well in the beginning. They just didn't put it out in the right time. Yeah. I don't think they had early access back then either, did they?
I don't know. I remember getting Starforge and being underwhelmed. So it's probably better now because I've heard from a lot of people who've actually given it a second chance. It's good, but the reviews still reflect an awful product. And that sucks because those reviews are just stuck there. The people rate them helpful, and now this...
And they stay at the top.
Yeah, they stay right at the top. This review that was helpful, 10 months ago is no longer helpful. Make it go away. Nope.
And then there's those that did do the bad reviews who actually take the time to edit that review and put in there, well, since they've, and they put little remarks in there, seems like the game is actually a good playable game now. They edit it, but it's still the thumbs down.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
stuck with
review.
thumbs
They
down,
can't
though.
change that. All they can do is change the content of the message in Steam. They can't change the thumbs down. So,
Yeah, I think Steam just overall, this is a good step in the right direction, but I think they still have a lot of work ahead of them because early access, I'm sorry, it's still, to the eyes of the consumer, falls on Steam. Steam's doing this because they might have gotten a lot of like pushback from the community, and now they're like, okay, well, we need to, this is on us. We need to make sure the devs are more informed. And this was a good first step, but I still think, like you're saying, if I'm editing my review, I should be able to change the thumbs up and down symbol if I'm doing an edit on it. Like, things like that. I mean, Jemmy, you
Can
suggested
you just
something.
flat out delete the review and then rewrite a new one?
Possibly.
I don't know.
I don't really write reviews on games for the most part.
I just see edits in there.
Don't
That's
like
all I
Steam's
see.
review system, and then they added those what are they called? The popular people reviews.
Oh, really? Like a popularity contest?
No, it's the mentors essentially. I don't know what the word curators on Steam.
Curators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, when I saw that, I had the biggest frown on my face. I was just like, this is why I like Steam exploration for games, and you've just ruined it by pushing this system. Because it's like, I didn't have all that garbage when I go to Amazon or Walmart or Metacritic or whatever. Like, I just had pretty much a game, a description, a video, pictures, and anybody I know who may or may not have played it.
Neil Patrick Harris reviewed this hairbrush. Here's what he had to say.
And then
like
a lot of
endorsements.
the popular
Oh,
curators are YouTubers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care what they think about these games. They're not a journalist. They're not a professional reviewer. A lot of them didn't go to school, and a lot of them are not objective.
No, yeah, exactly.
Let's face it, it's good advertisement for the YouTuber who happens to be a
Oh,
curator,
yeah.
too.
It's great for them. And kudos. It is really great for them. But it's not great for me. I was so annoyed when I saw the curator system being introduced and then being pushed in more places, so you can see how these popular people felt about this product.
Yeah, it's one person's opinion, whether it's your favorite YouTuber or not. That's still one person's opinion, trumping everything else. And especially if that person got paid to endorse the game in the first place, then you definitely don't want to be reading the review as like a testament to what you should buy.
Right.
You should always look at multiple reviews. We shouldn't be putting these, other reviews on top of everything else. We should be looking at reviews objectively. That's what they're there for. I mean, it should be in order of popularity. Okay, here's your 5-star reviews. Here's your 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that's how I love Amazon's review section because you can jump to, okay, I want to see all the 2-star reviews. Why did 4 people give this 2 stars? Click, and then you read them. Oh, all right. That's why. Why did 100 people give it 5 stars? These 4 people were just bitching. It should
Because
be more
the
like
100
Amazon.
people were friends of the guy who put...
Or that.
Not always. Sometimes it's like 100 and some people, and they genuinely had a great customer experience with it. 4 people got a defective product, or just for some reason it just booped. And, you're always going to have like this curve of defective products.
Whatever happened to the
we don't live in a
star
perfect
system?
void.
I mean, let's see. We got Steam doesn't have a star system. YouTube used to have a star system. Now I thought the star system was a really cool idea. I don't know why they took
I'm
that
glad
away.
it's gone on
Now it's
YouTube.
likes and dislikes.
I'm glad it's gone on YouTube.
I'm glad
but
it's gone on YouTube.
It doesn't work for consumer things like Steam. It works for community things that are meant to be judged, like artwork, I guess. But with a game that people are purchasing, I want to see, why
Yay
people
or
rated
nay.
it the way they rated it, and sort it that way. I really don't care what so-and-so thinks of this game over all the other reviews. So first it's the curator reviews, and then it's the, quote-unquote regular people reviews.
Yeah. Essentially.
It's not... Yeah, you're right. It's not fair. It really isn't.
I would rather a star system on Steam as well, because the thumbs up, thumbs down is absolutely worthless to me when it comes to buying a product.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I want to know if it's a middle of the road product. And I can't get that from the thumbs up, thumbs down. I just, is it enough people are being generous with this middle of the road, or that means I have to actually start reading all the reviews instead of being like, oh, I need to start reading reviews because this looks like a good product from the graph.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah.
Save me time, Steam. Give me stars or mushrooms or valve pipes. I don't care. Something.
Anything. You're right.
Numbers, whatever.
Like I said, this is a good first step, but I really hope they continue to do work on their early access program, on the Greenlight program, all these things. I'm really hoping to see them continue progress. And I also think the Greenlight program could be improved a bit more. I want to see where that game is at on the spectrum. Like how many people have said yes and how many people have said no, or how many. I want to see it because it's going to help. Like if a game has 89% of the way to being on the store, it's going to, people are like, ooh, I can get it there faster.
I would rather that number not be visible until after you voted.
Well, yeah, maybe after you vote. Greenlight just kind of upsets me overall. It's just more money for you if their game's on the store.
Well, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, they do have to host these games that are in their store on their data servers and constantly deal with that. And they don't want a game that's just going to be taking up server space and data space that no one's playing or bothering with.
Yeah.
If no one's going to buy it, then they've literally lost money on it. Steam doesn't want to do that.
What about a trial run in the store? Or just have people meet sales goals for the first, so many weeks of the game being there. Like, if you don't sell this many copies that we're pulling it.
That's really hard with indie games, though, because a lot of times, sometimes they can sit around and collect dust for a year or two before people really discover it, and then it takes off.
I don't know. I was just going to use the Apple Store as a comparison and the Android Store because people seem to be uploading their games to that and getting them, just on the market right away. But
Steam,
those are smaller games.
Yeah.
Steam has got this thing. Once in a while, I'll see a game in there that I get to play for 3 days, right? I get to try it out or whatever. I think a lot of these shelved games that nobody really knows about, Steam should really, if we really want to help out, I mean, because they want the money just as much as the developer, but it can help them out because they'll be able to get sales on these games, is if they offer it for 3 days. Here, try this game out for 3 days,
Make it a special, instead, make it like a front
because
page.
they have the system to do that, to be able to pull it off of your library.
Like the indie weekend deal where you can play the game for free for a weekend and then buy it at a discounted rate if you liked it during that weekend.
That or treat it like a sale. Like now that we have this new homepage, it tells me, oh, here's a game we think you might like, and puts it right in my face. You could do that with a Greenlight game and be like, this game's on Greenlight, and we're trying to see if it's worthy of being in our store. Try the demo here. If you like it, pick it up, and do it that way. Because these Greenlight games, I mean, sometimes the video that they show just isn't enough for me to go, oh, I'd buy that. And that's just if you're overthinking Greenlight. I honestly don't think anyone's thinking about it that hard. I think they're just hitting yes or moving on. And they look at it for like 2 seconds, or someone says, hey, please say yes to my game on Greenlight, and they're following them on Twitter, and they're like, okay. And so they just do it. I think that's what Greenlight is, really. That's what it is for me. If a dev comes to me and says, hey, I'm on Steam Greenlight, check out my game, put it on your channel, and while you're checking it out, maybe if you could vote me on Greenlight. And I'm like, yeah, I'll vote you on Greenlight, sure.
Yeah, it's like
I kind of agree.
Gaining followers on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
It's a popularity contest because who goes in Greenlight willingly without being there already for somebody else? I don't.
Absolutely. Yeah, I never just browse Greenlight. I know some people do, but I don't.
Most people don't.
Most
There's
people
no
won't.
point for you to go in there because it's not even like those games typically link to demos or anything. They don't. So it's just a bunch of arbitrary videos and screenshots of games that may or may not come to Steam.
Well,
yeah.
We are getting close to the end of our show, and I wanted to play a voicemail we got this week from Mr. Jake, so let's get into that real quick.
Let's hear from the Noob Nation.
All right, so Jake has posed us a question and left his opinion, and luckily I edited it down a bit because we are short on time, so here we go.
Alright guys, this is Jake. Here's my question. What genres do you think are going to stay in the gaming industry, and what do you think is going to leave? Me personally, I think storytelling games or roguelike games are going to stay, such as Gods Will Be Watching, fantastic game by the way. And things that are leaving, which is really sad actually, kind of ironic that Pokemon just came out, are strategy, because you don't see those every day, do you? Like card games, for example, like Hearthstone, I think those are starting to dwindle away. What do you guys think?
So basically, what games do we think are going to be here to stay in the future, genre-wise, and what games do we think are slowly losing popularity?
Horror games, they're kind of going away, sadly.
Yeah.
Really? I've been seeing more.
I've been seeing more, but they're all indie-based, but mainstream-wise, it's a dying breed. And that's why you see more, hyped, really good ones. But that's because the selection is just so small. And there's the audience there, but they aren't a big audience. And gaming companies don't want to market to a niche anymore. So it's a dying breed, sadly. I think they will always continue to be made, but they will always be few and far between. Only in October.
Yeah, that's when I see them the most, I suppose. What about you, Dreadlow?
Well, I was thinking, the horror games definitely are probably a thing that's going to go, but I see what's going to be stronger. I think is your I don't know what you want to call it, your building games like Minecraft, and I see those sandbox type games. I see those. I mean, World of Warcraft is a great example. I mean, they've opened that gate where you can have your own garrison with your own. You can upgrade your your buildings and things like that inside this garrison. So I see that as a growing thing that's going to be popular. It's even in MMOs now. Is this ability to be able to build and craft your own little whatever, and I see that actually being a growing kind of thing.
He mentioned that he feels like strategy games similar to that of Hearthstone are kind of dwindle. I don't think that's true. I think Pokemon's becoming more popular, especially with my age group, since X and Y. I never thought to play it again until X and Y came out. And then games like Hearthstone, I think, are starting to break through because we have this whole model now where a big developer like Blizzard can put out a free game and still make money off of it and offer at the same time an excellent free game if you choose not to spend money. And I think strategy card games are just the start of that.
Magic the Gathering's been around forever, so it's not
people
going
still
anywhere.
Play that. Yeah,
exactly.
They come out with a new one every year.
And to expand on this strategy thing, I think strategy games on PC and consoles you're gonna see a dip in that. I do agree on that, but I think you're going to see them kind of surge more on phones and tablets, where it's kind of you pick it up and put it down. Because strategy games are something slow when you think about it, so you take a little turn, but then it just kind of pauses all the action and you come back to it later.
Yeah,
I think the survival type games are going to kind of fade off.
Well,
I don't see those.
You just said sandbox.
Really?
I'm talking about the survival aspect, like DayZ, or either zombie type games.
You think that was just a fad?
I think so. I don't know. I know there's another game being developed, but it's not zombies. It's more like not aliens, but genetically enhanced creatures of some sort. Anyway,
I think that genre is in trouble because the sandbox survival genre is in trouble because we keep copying Minecraft. We're not even taking inspiration from Minecraft anymore. We're making flat out the same game and trying to rebrand it as some. We added something Minecraft didn't have. Well, great. So did all these mods. I think the one genre that is going to be in trouble in the future, maybe not right now, but this is just my opinion. I think MMOs, if they don't change something soon, People
Then you shake it up.
people are going to start feeling like it's getting too old. I think with this latest flood of MMOs we just got, like Elder Scrolls Online and ArcAge and all these new ones, we're starting to see a pattern. And for me, I went back to WoW for a bit because if I'm going to be playing the same game, I might as well play one that's familiar to me, you know? I don't know what the answer is. I like what Dreadlow was saying about the garrisons. If you add the crafting and building into MMOs, that could definitely help. But we need to see more in MMOs if we're going to see those stick around, in my opinion.
That's the problem, though. They don't want to spend the money on the servers and the development for like a sandboxy MMO.
Yeah. It's just my opinion. If I were to pick a genre that I feel like is in trouble.
This is why WoW is surviving. I mean, they've added things like mini games and things like that within World of Warcraft, and it's growing from there. So
yeah,
but they didn't have to like build from the ground up in this post MMO era. Like they already had their following when it was okay to be what they were originally, and now it's kind of like it's very costly to develop an MMO. Yeah. Even if it is like a clone of WoW.
Well, unfortunately,
look at Goat MMO Simulator. I mean, that's a great example of a great MMO.
Yeah, not a lot of development there.
We are out of time. But thank you so much for joining us. We're here every Monday night starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Everything Noob. Check out our website for all the links to our YouTube. If you want to subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher, all of that is on everythingnoob.com. And again, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next week. Be sure you have a very happy, merry Thanksgiving. And
Happy Thanksgiving!
Please don't leave your family hanging on Thanksgiving.
Gobble, gobble.
Go out. Don't go to Black Friday shopping. Go to your computer and buy things for Cyber Monday, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Everything Noob podcast. Hit up everythingnoob.com for our show notes, blogs, YouTube and Twitch channels, previous episodes, and even a t-shirt store. Please game responsibly, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys. Sorry, some of you just got here and we were ending the show on you. But as I said, we are here every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be working on Monday nights now, but only till 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and then I got to rush home and do the show. If that becomes a problem, we might talk about temporarily changing the time.
Rescheduling?
Because it's just for December.
Oh, it's just for December?
Yeah, the boss is having a baby, and he wants to spend some time with it.
Oh, well, yeah, that's understandable.
Well, that's a baby?
But if
that
the boss is
bad.
having a baby, he says it's just temporary, you can guarantee it's a permanent change.
No.
The problem with the owner of the restaurant is he has this grand plan to never come in again, and that's why they're training me so fast. But the problem is he doesn't know this yet, but we're about to lose like our senior chef. He's taking another job. So,
ooh.
Yeah, my work schedule will make it kind of crazy. So for now, 10 p.m. Eastern is the time of the show, but that